Good morning. I call our agenda meeting to order. This morning, we will be having our Board of Equalization and Review at 8:30. So I will reconvene that, and then after we have that, we will adjourn that and go into our 9 o'clock session. Invocation today will be Commissioner Bevan Foster with the Pledge of Allegiance of Commissioner Bevan Foster. We'll have the approval of the minutes. Discussion of any adjustment to the agenda.
No adjustments, sir.
No adjustments. Special presentations. We have a recognition of Wayne County employees selected as America's 250 public service champions. And great. Then a motion to approve the 2026 Volunteer Appreciation Proclamation as presented by United Way Director Sherry Archibald. At 9:15, we're having a public hearing to receive public comments regarding the Second Amendment to an existing economic development agreement between the City of Goldsboro and the County of Wayne regarding Park East Industrial Park Lot 6. The Board of Commissioners may choose to take action after that public hearing.
Yes, sir. We can go over it more at the 9 o'clock, but that is an amendment to the annexation agreement that you all have for Park East with the city, whereby they do not require annexation of certain properties out there, and we split those taxes. This updates that agreement to include Lot 6, which was previously not included.
And we're doing the inspections and the,
Yes, sir.
and the planning and everything.
Yes, sir.
Well, great. Any questions on that? Okay, we move to the appointment committee, and we have 4 appointments there, and Commissioner Williams is going to be making those motions.
Yes. We'll be appointing Rex Price to the Wayne County Planning Board. Motion to reappoint Deborah Harris to the Wayne Community College Board of Trustees. Motion to appoint Ronnie Anderson Barnes as Fire Commissioner for Pikeville, Pleasant Grove Fire Department, replacing John D. Pate. And motion to appoint Tiffany Blaylock and Patria Raswell to the Wayne County Tourism Development Authority.
All right, and then we'll move to consent agenda and our budget amendments.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have several of those, so we'll go through those one by one and stop me if you have questions. All right, we'll start with number 342, and this is from Cooperative Extension. This budget amendment is to appropriate funds received from the donation revenue line item to fund 4-H programming. Number 344, this is from Public Health Department. This is to appropriate additional funds awarded by the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention to train new and existing public health staff and to retain public health staff by providing incentives. Number 346 is from the Sheriff's Office. This budget amendment is to appropriate funds from the insurance reimbursements line to maintenance and repairs vehicles in order to cover an anticipated shortfall for expenses such as vehicle tags, decals, car washes, and minor repairs. They're also requesting to purchase a vehicle by combining funds from the capital outlay vehicle line item for the SRO division and Sheriff's Office. These funds were originally allocated from the contingency line when the new SRO positions were approved in this year's budget.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
My only question is, I looked at several of these budget amendments, and what concerns me, maybe you can help me, is that they state that it's, the expense for these line items are unpredictable. Therefore, it is difficult to adequately budget for. Can you help me with that?
Sure, I don't think this is one in particular. Some of the other ones that we'll go over, like shared expenses for juveniles, it just depends on the arrest. You can't predict the number of arrests that will happen in the year. They base their budgets on history. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, depending on several different factors.
Okay.
We can hit each one of those whenever we get to it. I think the departments have done a good job in their memos explaining some of the reasons.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to number 350. This is one of the budget amendments that Commissioner Williams, you're asking about. So this is from detention. This is to realign funds in order to cover anticipated shortfall in the central prison shared expense safekeeping line item. So this is not increasing our budget at all. They have found within their budget the funds to cover what they expect will be needed for the remainder of the year. So in this particular one, they found $20,000 in their janitorial line, and they're moving it to cover the central prison shared expense. So this particular one, these are inmates that for whatever reason, a lot of times it's medical reasons, they have to be housed in Raleigh. So those expenses are quite a bit higher than having them here.
Thank you.
We had to pay 100% of that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any more questions on that?
The next one is number 351. This is from the Public Health Department. This is to realign the health budget to fund required translation services for clients. Here, they are realigning their professional services line item from a particular department within public health and reallocating that among other departments. So they have like sub-departments within their fund. This would be because those particular programs have exceeded their estimated budget, so they have found that in their line item. The next one, number 354. This budget amendment is to appropriate tax collections for fire departments through the end of the fiscal year. This is because the collections for these fire departments, we have exceeded what we budgeted, so we have to remit the taxes to the fire department. So in order to do that, we have to increase the revenue as well as the expense. And this was for 9 of our fire departments. Human Resources, number 358. This has to do with tuition assistance. So this is to realign funds from Human Resources training account to the appropriate training account in DSS and Health for those departments' employees that have utilized the tuition assistance benefit. Number 362, detention. This is realigning their payroll line items to get them through the end of the fiscal year. 363, Sheriff's Department, the SRO Division. This is also realigning payroll line items to get them through the end of the fiscal year.
So this is over and above what we appropriated.
No, sir, this is just a realignment, so
Okay.
it's not changing the budget at all. $365, Social Services. This is to realign the budget to pay for administrative travel for the remainder of the fiscal year. Facilities, number 366. This is also to realign the budget to pay for fuel oil.
There'll be another one coming.
367, Solid Waste. This is to realign their budget to pay for grinding of overstock tree and limb debris.
That is, we talked about this last week, that is, they're coming in and doing it, they're not leasing something and doing it. So
Correct.
somebody, there's a contract company coming in.
Correct. 368, this is from Social Services. This is to realign the budget to pay for overtime payments for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Wow. That's pretty substantial.
370, detention. This is to realign funds in order to cover anticipated shortfall in the inmate prepared food services line item. This is another one of the line items that is unpredictable as the inmate population varies from day to day.
So when they say inmate prepared food services, that's just saying that, because I know we have a kitchen now, so we're preparing the food there. It's not like we have an outside entity that's doing
We
that.
do have an outside entity that brings the food in.
Why are we still doing that?
I don't believe the kitchen that we have is set up to prepare the food. I think it's set up to bring in the food for distribution.
That kitchen we got now is set up, I would think be set up to, cause it had fryers and everything in it, didn't it?
Yeah, has everything in there. So, I mean,
Anyway,
that's something we have to kind of,
I don't know that we might, I mean, it
That's
probably,
subcontracted out.
you probably got a subcontractor preparing the food in the kitchen. That's probably what,
That may be the
yeah,
case.
that's probably the
I'm not
cheaper way to do it
100%
than it
sure.
is to, have our own, yeah.
You're welcome. Number 374, animal control. Realign animal services, overtime, full-time payroll expense to have funds available through the end of the fiscal year. The next one is 375. This is from JCPC, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Additional funds have been received from them to pass through to the Wayne County Structured Day Program. Number 377, OES. This is to realign funds to pay for tax and tags for the new decon trailer that was purchased with ARP funds. 379, detention.
That trailer in,
I believe so, yes, sir. I have not seen it, but
or,
Oh, you're fine. Juvenile, this is to cover anticipated shortfall in the juvenile detention shared expense line item. This is another one of those that are unpredictable. This is because juvenile defendants cannot be housed in the adult inmate population. So we have exceeded our initial budget. Again, they have found the funds within their own line to cover this increase. So no increase to our overall budget.
did they go to Pitt County or wherever?
I'm not sure where they go. They have to go to an approved facility for juveniles
That we do not have.
that we do not have.
And finally, number 385, this is social services. This is to realign the budget to pay for special assistance cost share for the remainder of the fiscal year.
What do you mean by special assistance cost share?
So this is for our adults that get assistance for low-income elderly and disabled adults who need help with their basic living expenses. So we, the county, have to pay 50% of that, and we get the other 50% from the state.
That's like their electric bill, water bill,
Yes,
whatever
sir.
essential service.
And it says here that they've actually seen an increase by 10.9%.
Because of the increase in everything going. So what's the difference between that and what they do at the, services on aging? Don't they kind of do the services?
That's for medical.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're paying caregivers.
Thank you. I thought there was some type of it's just all through DSN. I got you.
And
Okay.
that's it.
That's all of your budget amendments?
Yes, sir.
It's quite a number.
Yes, sir.
End of the year, so there is
Yes, sir.
always a number. All right, our next item is late present use value applications. These were completely, they were vetted and approved. And there were there's only one of those?
Two.
There's two of those, okay.
Two of those.
All right, any questions? And then we have a motion to approve the audit contract for Nunn, Brashear, and Azell, PA, for the year ending June 30th of 2026.
That is the final year for the 3-year contract that you approved.
Okay, any questions on that? Then we'll move to new business. Under new business, we have a motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne electing to participate in an opioid settlement with the Remnant Defendants Settlement Agreement, Associated Pharmacies Incorporated, and American Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Morris and Dixon Company LLC, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, and United Natural Foods Incorporated, and Super Value.
Yes, sir. This is part of the national opioid class action lawsuit that has been ongoing for years. Part of those funds are covered by the North Carolina MOA, some are not. Recently, the class action, the plaintiffs reached a settlement with these defendants. So we have until May 4th to opt into it. So that would be more opioid funds coming our way. These would not be covered by the North Carolina MOA. These would be outside. But we're just asking for that approval to accept those additional funds.
Okay, any questions? All right, next item is a motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne authorizing the award of opioid settlements for the creation of a Wayne County post-overdose response team.
Dave will be here at 9 to go over that proposal.
Okay? And the last item under new business, a motion to adopt a resolution 2026-6, a resolution opposing the modifications to the county property tax authority.
We can go over that at 9 as
We
well.
go at 9:00.
Okay, and, Mr. County Manager, I'll take it that you would read that
Yes,
resolution.
sir, I certainly will.
Great. All right, and then we'll have the county manager's report, Board of Commissioners committee reports. Closed session, we
Yes, sir.
definitely have closed session today. And then afterwards, we will be having our headshots and group photo. If we have Commissioner DeMarco returning from Duke in time. If not, we will reschedule again for the next week.
Man, I postponed my vacation conversation.
All right, is there any other item that we need to discuss on our agenda meeting? At 8:30, we will be going into the Board of Equalization and Review. Do I need to wait until 8:30 to do
Yes,
so?
sir.
Okay, so we will recess for 4 minutes until 8:30. Okay, we're back from our recess, and I'm recessing the Board of Commissioners meeting and reconvening our Board of Equalization and Review. Mr. Lumpkin, have you got a report for us?
Yes, sir. Good
Oh,
morning.
oh,
Good morning.
He's got to be, don't he have to be?
No, there's nothing.
No, we don't have anything
no
here,
action.
so
Oh,
that
okay.
this morning
Okay.
today. He
Sorry.
let out on that one. Thank you for thinking about it, though.
No problem.
Mr. Chairman, we do have, the Board of ENR, we have received to date 36 informal appeals. We are working through those, and any that are postmarked prior to this adjournment, we will review those as well. And in the future, after we work those and respond to the appellants, then we will, anyone that wants to be heard by the board can be heard by the Board of Commissioners, anything going forward, once we adjourn this Board of Equalization review. So we'll be working through those, and, anybody that wants to appear will actually appear at a later date, and you'll hear that as a Board of Commissioners.
Okay. So is there anyone here today to appeal the value? I see no one. So if there's no further business, we're going to adjourn the Board of Equalization and Review.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And we have a closed session?
Yes, sir, you need to reconvene the Board of
Oh,
Commissioners.
that's right. All right, we'll reconvene the Board of Commissioners.
And we can go into closed session before
We
now.
got a motion to go in closed session.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to go in closed session.
And that's to consult with your attorney to maintain attorney-client privilege.
And if you'd please vote by electronic means.
Mine didn't come up.
Up there at the
All right.
front.
So we are in closed session?
Commissioner Forster ran into a couple of, a little bit of traffic, so he'll be here shortly.
Okay. All right, I call our April 21st Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Welcome. Commissioners are reminded of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest consistent with state law and Wayne County policies. Any commissioner who has an actual or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter on the agenda should disclose the conflict prior to the meeting. The invocation today, we're going to ask Commissioner Gurley to give us our invocation and also our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us all together this morning. We ask that you give us the wisdom and knowledge to make the best decisions that benefit all of Wayne County citizens. We want to ask that you look after our military families, as well as our first responders that look after us every day. We want to say thank you for looking after our Lady Cougars in their quest for their championship. We thank you for keeping them safe this year and giving them that honor. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Let us pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have, I need a motion to approve the April 7th minutes.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Hold on a second. And if you'd vote.
No resolution. Kayla's got it.
Okay, we got that?
It was approved, Mr.
Okay. And then we have our agenda. We have any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We have one addition of a resolution under the consent. It's from Wayne County to withdraw its membership from the Neuse River Council of Governments, doing business as Eastern Carolina Council, and authorizing the Wayne County manager to send a notice of such withdrawal. That will be under consent.
Okay. Is there any other adjustments?
No
Hearing
other
none,
adjustments.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the adjusted agenda for.
okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion? Okay, if you'd please vote. Okay, then we move to special presentations. Recognition of Wayne County employees selected as America's 250 Public Service Champions. This is good news.
This is wonderful news. It is really my pleasure to recognize 3 individuals who represent the very best of public service, not just in Wayne County, but across the nation. The Local Government 250 Champion Program was sponsored by the National Academy of Public Administration and was created in honor of our country's 250th anniversary. It recognizes public servants who reflect the very best of local government, who lead with purpose, serve with integrity, and make a lasting impact on our communities. Now, you know that local government rarely makes the national headlines, but local government is where the work gets done every single day. And these 3 individuals are proof of that. To have one employee recognized at this level is something to be very proud of, but to have 3 says a lot about Wayne County and something we should be very proud of. So before I call them up individually to give them their awards, I want to share with you a little bit about them so you can see why they were awarded this. First, Anna Snyder, who is our Assistant Library Director. Anna brings passion and purpose to everything she does. Her dedication to voter education, local history, and civic engagement is evident in the programs and partnerships she builds throughout our community. She has a clear vision for a stronger North Carolina and the drive to make it happen. What stands out most about Anna is her commitment to growth. She's always learning, always evolving, and always focused on how she can better serve the residents of Wayne County. And if you've spent any time in our libraries lately, you'll know that it's not just a place for books anymore. It's a hub for connection, for community, and for learning. And Anna is a big reason why. She's not only respected by her peers, but appreciated by the staff and the residents she serves. Next, I'd like to recognize Dave Cuddeback, our EMS director. Dave embodies what it means to put service before self. When he stepped into the role as EMS director in 2019, Wayne County was facing a 40% vacancy rate in that department. Through listening, leadership, and advocacy, Dave has transformed that department. And today, they have no vacancies. And there's a wait list to join that team. And in public service, that's about as close to a miracle as you're going to get. But Dave's impact goes far beyond staffing. He's fostered a culture of accountability and training, and he ensures that his team is prepared both physically and mentally for the work that they do. From leading our first COVID-19 vaccine clinic to teaching future paramedics, Dave will often step into roles that most people shy away from, whether that's assisting our partners at the hospital or notifying families in their most difficult moment. Dave leads with humility and with strength. And if you have ever gotten an email from Dave, you will know that his guiding principle is right there in the signature. Failure is not an option. And finally, Kim McGuire, our DSS director. Kim's story is one of dedication, of growth, and heart. Starting as a temporary employee for Wayne County DSS, she worked her way through the agency and was appointed director in 2019, leading one of the county's most critical divisions. Under her leadership, social services has become grounded in integrity and compassion. Kim oversees programs that support our most vulnerable residents, ensuring access to food, protection, and care when it's needed most. But her leadership extends beyond Wayne County, serving on state-level committees and boards that help shape the future of human services. But what truly sets Kim apart is how she leads, with love, with grace, and with empathy. Even outside of her role, through her dance studio, she finds a way to uplift others, reminding us that service doesn't stop just because the workday ends. I think we can agree that Kim probably has more energy than all of the rest of us. Together, Anna, Dave, and Kim represent the very best of Wayne County. They elevate local government, inspire those around them, and demonstrate what it means to serve with pride and purpose. So at this time, I'm going to invite them up individually to give them their award. And when you guys come up, if you'll just stand up here in front of the Board of Commissioners so we can get a picture. So first, Anna Snyder, Assistant Librarian. Thank you for your creativity and your passion. Thank you. Next, Dave Cuddeback, EMS Director. Dave, we thank you for your leadership and your courage in leading this department. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And finally, Kim McGuire, DSS.
Well, you brought your fan club.
Thank you.
It's quite an honor, quite an honor. Next on our agenda is a motion to approve the 2026 Appreciation Proclamation as presented by United Way Director Sherry Archibald. There's Sherry.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I am here to share the proclamation of Volunteer Appreciation Week, and so I will read that, if you don't mind. Whereas a sense of caring and a desire to share have motivated many men and women to volunteer their time and services to the needs of others in the Goldsboro community. And whereas volunteers help the sick, the needy, the disabled, and enrich our lives through the arts, recreation, and cultural activities. And whereas the County of Wayne has many dedicated volunteers who give of their time and expertise on boards and committees and benefit our citizens. And whereas volunteer action is a powerful force for the solutions of problems, and volunteers are increasingly recognized as an important partner with government agencies. And whereas volunteers have become an essential part of any prosperous community, and volunteer services help expand programs and stretch our tax dollars. And whereas Governor Josh Stein and the North Carolina Commission on Volunteerism and Community Service recognize volunteers across the state for their contributions to 100 counties. And the United Way of Wayne County will recognize those volunteers and all Wayne County volunteers on April the 27th at 5:30 p.m. at the Paramount Theater. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wayne County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the week of April the 19th through the 25th, 2026, as National Volunteer Appreciation Week in Wayne County, and urges all citizens to recognize and thank our volunteers across the country and within Wayne County as we acknowledge the importance of our volunteers and take the time to officially thank them for all that they do. Adopted this 21st day of April, 2026.
Great.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Any discussion on the motion? Please vote.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And on behalf of the United Way of Wayne County, I just want to introduce our Community Impact and Engagement Director, Pilar Parks, who you've probably been seeing communication from regarding our ceremony that is scheduled for next Monday at 5:30. And I want to thank you in advance, Chairman Daughtery, for planning to join us. I know that we've had Commissioner Acott to join us, and many of you in the past. I hope that all of you will be able to be there recognizing our volunteers. And if you don't mind, because we do not have a public comment, I was encouraged that this might be an appropriate time. I wanted to also take a side note and introduce you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners for the Housing Authority for the City of Goldsboro to the CEO, Ms. Michelle Wiggins, who is here to
Welcome.
join us. And so just wanted to make an introduction to you today, somewhat informally, but also to be able to encourage you to reach out to her. She's excited about getting engaged in the community. We will be having a meet and greet, and so you'll receive information on that. That's coming in just a few weeks.
Well, we'll be glad to give her an opportunity to step
Yeah.
to the microphone and speak to us.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you for just a few minutes. I know things are packed today and you'll want to get to more exciting things. I've been on the same circuit as the Cougars, so I'm excited to see them be recognized again. So I am a Wayne County native. Some of you may remember me from my time at the Housing Authority before. I was there for 7.5, 8 years before I left to go serve the state of North Carolina, and I've been there for the last 5 years before coming back to the Housing Authority in this different leadership role. At my time at the Housing Authority before, I was responsible for their grants, their development, their rehab projects, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to putting that experience back to use. The staff of the Housing Authority are doing great things, and we're just looking to continue doing amazing resident services, but also move into a new direction of additional development, because as those of you that are familiar with the Housing Authority properties, some of them are probably older than anybody in this room, and we just need better, newer housing, and that takes a lot of effort and a lot of community input. So we'll be working on that. That's one of our primary goals. I'm looking forward to building and collaborating, and I'm sure I'll work closely with all of you in the future. So thank you for taking the time. We'll have a meet and greet coming up on May 6th from 4 to 6:30 at the DuPont Center, which is in West Haven, and we will distribute information about that. If you'd like to come and talk, ask questions, or just meet me in person and have side conversations, I'd be honored if you would be there. So, thank you.
All right, great. Welcome. And now I want to turn the floor over to Commissioner Tim Harrell, who I think has got some discussion on some folks that are in the audience. Okay. We'll let a few people exit the room.
All right, well,
We're good.
we saved the best for last. So I'm excited to see some familiar faces here with Coach McClary and Coach Bryant, and to have you ladies, amazing ladies here, because I understand that not only this year did you win the state title for the 3A basketball championship in North Carolina, first time since 1982. And I believe, if I'm right, Mr. McClary, wasn't your mom on that team in 1982? The 80 team. Going 28-2, I believe, and 12-0 in the conference, which is amazing right there. And beating East Surrey 46-54. It's always been a challenge in my years in coaching high school basketball and football. It always seemed in the East, when we met a team in the West, we had a really difficult challenge, whether it was football or basketball and even baseball. So I'm excited, as I know other commissioners are, to have you here today to recognize you not only for your hard work on the basketball court and how you have represented Goldsboro High School, our community, the county, but I'm sure what you're doing as well in the halls of Goldsboro High School, representing your school, being leaders, because we need good leaders like you in our community. And I just want to encourage you to continue to work hard, because hard work does pay off, as I'm sure Coach Bryant and Coach McClary and your other coaches have said. I used to remember when I coached women's basketball, we would run and run and run. But one thing as I coach, I always wanted to make sure I was not out-coached and my team was prepared. And there were many times we beat the opposition just because we were in better shape and we were mentally tougher than what they were. And athletics does such an amazing job in preparing us for life too, right? Because you make lifelong friends and you learn how to handle victory as well as defeats and those challenges and stuff too. So Coach McClary, Coach Bryant, thank you so much for your hard work and what you have done to help mentor these young ladies. Young ladies, thank you for what you have done, and your families too. It's amazing, and we are so proud of you. Thank you for coming today. To be 28-2 and undefeated in conference, and the 3A women's state champion, have that right here in Goldsboro is pretty amazing. And I'm surprised Miss Wilma Hamilton's not here today. She's Goldsboro through and through. One of my friends, we didn't invite her. I'd love for us to get a picture if we could. Absolutely. Does anybody like to say anything to the team?
Oh, I'll say something. Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming. Congratulations. A lot of times people don't understand how hard it is to be a student athlete, you know, and I say student first because that's what comes first. You know, you have to make sure your grades are on par. You might have to make sure your behavior is on par in order to be able to participate. So it's a lot going into it, not just the athletic side of things and running up and down the court and making a basket. It's so much more than just going to school every day. You know, staying late for practice, staying late for games, still doing your homework, college stuff to get prepared for college. It's a lot, you know. I was a student athlete at Goldsboro High School, and I know how hard it was then, and I can imagine that it's only harder now. So I thank you, ladies. Congratulations on an outstanding year. I hope the best for you in the future. I know what you've done this year will set you up for your futures because you know what it takes to be great. You know what it takes to work hard and to go out and win. And you're going to win in life because of those things that you've done on that court also. So congratulations.
And I'm curious, how many seniors are on the team? So we've got 4 seniors. Okay, we got a little rebuilding. We got 4. And Zaya, you were named MVP, right? Congratulations on that.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes, I just want to say, I'm also a Goldsboro alumni. I played football there. We weren't a winning team like you guys, so I mean, I'm so happy for you guys. I want to congratulate you guys and, much success to you in the future. Just keep striving. You all are Goldsboro excellence. And we love Goldsboro excellence here, so just keep doing the great things you're doing, inspire, the younger players, and just strive for the best. You're our future.
Great.
Yep, just line up right here in front of us.
There you go.
Coach.
Coach,
You wanna come up here with us?
Coach, you gotta be up here.
We're all looking at the camera with the red light on it, ladies up there in the back. We're on the red light. At the top, yeah.
Okay, we got all the pictures? All right, great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
If you want to. Congratulations. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Uh-oh. Who asked you on the court?
Congratulations.
What position do you play? Okay, I figured you did.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. Short one, I figured she played point guard. Anything.
They get off the rest of the day. They need to take him out.
Just great job.
Okay, our next item on the agenda
Make sure you
is,
take him to get something to eat before you take him back to school. Take him to get something to eat before you take him back to school. Mr. Ray won't mind. Send us the bill.
our next item on the agenda is a public hearing, and I call that public hearing to order to receive public comments regarding a second amendment to an existing economic development agreement between the city of Goldsboro and the county of Wayne regarding Park East Industrial Park, Lot 6, a portion of the Wayne County PIN number 35292111787. So we have the public hearing open. Did anyone sign up to speak? If there's no one here to speak on this behalf, I close the public hearing, and we may take action at this time.
And I can give a little
you
brief
would.
background as well. So if you recall, we currently have an annexation agreement in place with the city of Goldsboro that covers certain lots in Park East. So it would be Lot 7, which we're under contract right now, Lot 9, which is Alianza, Lot 18, which is Select Genetics, and then the other large, what I call the Pelson property, which should be closing within the next couple of weeks. So the existing agreement calls for the city to extend utilities, water and sewer to those lots, and also not require annexation. As in exchange for that, we have agreed to split our portion of the tax proceeds with them. And then we also assume all inspection authority on those lots as well. The agreement was amended, I believe last year to change some conditions on the Pelson property to accommodate the purchase price. The last remaining lot in Park East that's not developed is Lot 6. And Lot 6 and Lot 7 were one parcel. And at the time the original agreement was created, it was the intent to include Lot 6 as well. If you recall, we're currently, we have an agreement in place with WCDA, and they're gonna oversee a construction of a shell building. So all this, all the Second Amendment does is just include Lot 6 into that agreement. So all the other terms remain the same. We would split the tax proceeds. We assume inspection authority and everything. So that's all it does. It just add that one parcel to the agreement.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Second Amendment on existing economic development agreement with the City of Golden and the County of Wayne, Parkes Industrial Park, includes Lot 6. Pin number is stated.
okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion on the motion? Hear none, if you'd please vote. Okay, that passes. Then our next item, is the appointment committee. Commissioner Williams.
Yes. We have a motion to appoint Rex Price for the Wayne County Planning Board for the next expiring in October 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Okay,
Okay. We have a motion to reappoint Deborah Harris to the Wayne Community College Board of Trustees.
okay, we got a motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, please vote. Okay, and the next item?
Yes, we have a motion to appoint Ronnie Anderson Barnes as Fire Commissioner for Pikeville Pleasant Grove Fire Department, replacing John D. Pate.
Okay, a motion, any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. And then our next item.
We have a motion to appoint Tiffany Blaylock and Patria Braswell to the Wayne County Tourism Development Authority.
Okay, a motion, any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Williams.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now on the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
That is as amended, including the resolution on East Carolina Council. Okay, any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, please vote. All right. Now moving on to new business. We need a motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne electing to participate in an opioid settlement with Remnant Defendant Settlement Agreement, or SDA, Associated Pharmacies Incorporated, and American Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Morris and Dickerson Company LLC, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, and United Natural Foods Incorporated, and Super Value. So if you give us some explanation on this motion.
Yes, sir.
we have
And this is part of the ongoing opioid class action lawsuit. So we've participated in that, both through the North Carolina MOA and then also some extra funds that were outside of that. So this is the most recent settlement with some distributors. They're all owned by the same company, but there's different LLCs associated with them. But the parent company is Remnant. And in order for us to participate in this, we need to opt in by May the 4th, I believe, is the deadline for us. So we need to go ahead and take action today. This would, it would be handled not under the NCMOA, but it would be additional opioid funds that would have to be used in line with the guidelines of the class action lawsuit. The total amount is to be determined at this point, because it's contingent on the number of local governments that opt in. And this has also been forwarded to the city of Goldsboro, because with their participation, a larger pot of money would be available for us to receive.
And it must be approved by May
I believe May 4th.
4th.
Yes, sir.
So that should be on the city council's next agenda.
Yes, sir. I forwarded it to their city attorney.
Okay, great. All right, any other discussion on this? Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Harrell. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. That passes unanimously. The next item that we have is a motion to adopt a resolution by County of Wayne authorizing the award of opioid settlements for the creation of a Wayne County post-overdose response team. And who is going to speak on this?
EMS Director Dave Cutback.
Mr. Cuttapack.
Yes, sir.
Award-winning.
Award-winning, exactly.
Award-winning.
Award-winning. When she was, when Ginger was doing, I was talking a while ago, telling everything about Dave, he was at full attention at the time.
When you are surrounded by excellence, winning is easy.
Right.
And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by excellence.
That's a good leader right there.
So thank you for giving us a couple minutes to talk about this. So as Commissioner Daughtry said, is we have put in a proposal for a PORT team, which is post-overdose response team. Little bit rewinding on this is we were a little late getting into the game as far as a PORT team. There's a lot of counties around us and communities that have already had this sort of resource. I take full ownership of that. Once we started realizing that this was a thing and it was a possibility to implement it in our county, we hit the ground running. And hitting the ground running means that we have been studying under the experts in the state and in the nation to see exactly what this program looks like. What this program looks like is that we would like to put a paramedic in positions. They would be operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They would take on an EMS schedule that we already have in place, which is a 24/72. And the reason why it would be important for us to be operational 24 hours a day is because when we're dealing with overdoses, it's not a 9 to 5 thing. It's a 2 o'clock in the morning, it's a 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And so we need somebody that's going to be operational right there. Now, the main objective behind this person is that any time that we ever have somebody that has an opioid-related issue, and it's not necessarily an overdose, our program is going to be a lot more extensive than that. We want this team leader to respond to it and to take care of things. Now, one of the things that we've been seeing throughout this process is we haven't had one centralized person that can communicate with all the parties. That would be a role that this person plays in this. I cursed myself by saying we're doing really well with overdoses, and the reason why I say I curse myself is we are right back in it again. I'm a phase type of person, and I was looking at this as a phase 3, and what phase 3 is phase 1 is we have to stop our citizens from dying. That's a very important thing. And there was a period of time where we did a very good job of that. And we can measure it by saying we didn't have a lot of opioid-related deaths, and we were not delivering a lot of naloxone to our citizens. Shame on me for thinking we were out of the woods. Phase 2 is let's plan and start seeing how we take people that are still struggling with opioid addiction and we get them help. And then stage 3 would have been the connection of everybody, and we want people to recover from this horrible addiction. We're right back in phase 1 right now. We're right back in stopping people from dying from opioids. That's not just in Wayne County, that's in North Carolina, that's in the nation now. So this position is going to hit the ground running. Not only are they going to work phase 3 as far as long-term and short-term recovery, but this person is also going to be in phase 1. They're going to be actively on the street stopping people from dying from this horrible illness. Now, that's the opioid-related component of it. What we also know is that opioids dig into the homeless population. Opioids dig into the behavioral health population. So we want this person to be diversified, not just responding to overdoses, but we want them getting into our homeless population, finding people that are battling with addiction and getting them help. We want them to responding to behavioral emergencies. We have a lot of those that occur in Wayne County. We want them responding to them, find out if addiction is the root of the problem. And what we know is it may not be the main reason why they're having a behavioral issue. It definitely has a role in that. So our PORT program is going to be based off of a lot of what we see statewide and nationally, but it's also going to be a lot bigger than that. We're very fortunate as we're starting to look at some people to take on the role as the team leader. And if I was to write on a piece of paper what the perfect person looks like for this, I found 2 of them. And we're very fortunate because they want to come back to Wayne County and help us with this program. What we're asking for is a 3-year commitment from the county, because this is not something that's going to be solved in a year. It's not going to be something that's solved in 2 years. It's going to need some time to actually have the program that we're hoping for. Questions you all have?
So the resolution, just to piggyback off what Dave said, the resolution is for a 3-year commitment. It's completely opioid funded. There's no county funds. It's for full-time employees, plus the benefits associated with it. It includes startup costs of a Ford Explorer, medication, and then some other essential equipment. And we met with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners opioid team, went over this plan with them, and they agreed that it was fully funded under the North Carolina MOA. So,
Well, it's very clear that this is the purpose of the opioid funds. So I applaud you for putting this program together and getting it kicked off.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize or adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne to authorize the award of opioid settlements, the creation of a Wayne County post-overdose response team.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion or comments?
I'm just gonna say, I'm glad to see this coming to fruition. I mentioned this almost 2 years ago to Ginger and Chip, and, I mentioned it to you also and in the meeting, and I feel like I was part of the reason why this is happening right now.
Yes, sir.
So I'm thankful that it is happening. I think it's a good thing. I've seen it work in other counties, so I know it's gonna work here with your leadership. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Foster, you know the words to light that fire under me, and I appreciate that.
Oh, great. If you please vote. Okay, and that passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
So you will surpass those that are already in place, correct?
Yes, sir. When you're surrounded by excellence, victory is easy.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is a motion to adopt a resolution 2026-6, a resolution opposing modifications to the county property tax authority.
Yes, sir. Whereas county governments are constitutionally and statutorily charged with providing essential public services, including but not limited to public safety, emergency response, education, infrastructure, public health, and social services, and whereas property taxes constitute a primary, stable, and locally controlled source of revenue necessary to fund these essential county services and to meet both ongoing operational needs and long-term capital obligations, and whereas the authority to levy, assess, and adjust property taxes allows county governments to respond responsibly to changing economic conditions, population growth, service demands, emergencies, and state or federal mandates, and whereas counties follow transparent procedures prior to any tax change by presenting annual budgets on a strict schedule, hosting open meetings for citizen input and questions, and submit public bonds for voter consideration. And whereas proposals to modify, limit, cap, freeze, or otherwise restrict county property tax authority, whether through constitutional amendment, statutory change, or administrative action, may reduce local flexibility, undermine fiscal stability, and shift costs to less stable revenue sources. And whereas such modifications may result in unintended consequences, including service reductions, delayed infrastructure investment, increased fees, and inequitable impacts on residents, and whereas county governments are best positioned to balance fiscal responsibility with service delivery, accountability, and responsiveness to local needs throughout transparent budgeting and elected representation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wayne County Board of Commissioners supports the current property tax program in North Carolina, which enables counties to manage property tax rates within sensible limits. Be it further proclaimed that Wayne County Board of Commissioners formally opposes any constitutional amendment that would restrict, cap, reduce, or otherwise limit county property tax authority adopted the 21st day of April, 2026.
If I may, let me lead off the discussion on this resolution. It's easy to take a position to limit property taxes. It's easy to take a stand for that. But with that stand comes consequences. County governments exist to provide services that are mandated or expected, whether or not it is EMS, the sheriff's department, schools, funding, right on down the line. And those services have got to be paid by someone. And unfortunately or fortunately, it's delegated to county government. County government faces the same thing that we all face in our households, and that is rising cost. Our electric bill and our electric rates are the same as everybody else's. And as those electric bills go up, so does the county's go up. Our insurance rates are the same as private citizens. Their insurance rates have gone up, so does county insurance rates go up. So the cost to provide those services continue to rise. The demand for those services continue to rise. If in fact you have a cap in regards to placing increases to pay for those services, based upon what's projected in this constitutional amendment as I read it, and that is, it states that the legislature shall enact laws to limit the increase in property taxes. Now that means that could change from one legislative session to the next legislative session. How is county government supposed to operate without any clear understanding of how they are to address their revenue? So the constitutional amendment may sound like a popular thing, but there's some problems with that. I think a better course of action would be for the legislature to enact some other limitations or some additional funding to offset the cost of county government. I've asked our county manager to put together a report, and I'm hoping he's going to have it here shortly, in the next few weeks, outlining what federal and state mandates are placed on county government and what its approximate costs are. And when that report comes out and you see the millions of dollars that are forced down onto county government, I think you would understand some concerns that we all should have about passing a constitutional amendment restricting that. So it's the devil's in the details. It's the methodology that they are attempting to handle here. And for that reason, I'm going to support this resolution opposing the constitutional amendment as is provided. That said, I open the floor for any other comments.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a few.
Please.
I have got I am one of those that, does not think that property taxes is the fairest tax because 40% of us pay 100% of the bills. I have got a major issue the way the legislation is written, to the point is it's got politics in the middle of it. As our chairman spoke, big politics on both sides depending on who's in charge of the legislature at any given time. But the main issue I have is they've not addressed, as he just alluded to, the state and federal mandates that's pushed down on the counties that we're required to provide with no funding attached to it. That's the problem. That's what I got an issue with. I mean, and there's a list. Chip's got a notebook, and it's flipped over about 8 times, pages of mandates that we are required to provide services. The county is in the service business, whether it, as he spoke on, law enforcement, EMS, DSS, health department, animal services, and we can go on and on and on. When you pick the phone up and call 911, you expect someone to answer. You expect someone to respond if you're in need. We hope you never need them. But reality is, I don't know how many, the sheriff's here today, I don't know how many calls he answers in a given day. Dave just left, I know we're into 25,000 EMS calls a year and growing. Not sure how many calls the sheriff answers, but it goes right along with those calls plus call to service. So I do oppose increasing property tax, but I don't agree with the way the legislation is written. And I have spoken with our legislative representatives and others that I have relationships with outside of our represented area. And I expressed my concern and our concern as we have spoke, on a one-on-one basis. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll leave it at that.
All right, any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, like Commissioner Gurley said, I mean, I've got a lot of comments, calls and stuff. Basically, my calls are from, the elderly. We need to do something in place for the elderly. I pay property tax and I pay a lot of them. But when I pick up the phone, I want the services there, because it's very important, the sheriff, the EMS and everything. I was speaking with one of the people that were talking to me, probably about a month ago. Well, I don't see what you do with all your money. So I started breaking down certain things that our county taxes covered. And they looked at me, well, I didn't realize that. I says, well, it's a given. These property taxes, go to cover a lot of things. So I want our legislator to make sure that if they're willing to put limitations on us, they're gonna have to step up to the plate as well. They're gonna have to cover some of these costs because it's gonna be demanded from our citizens. So I don't know how we're gonna cover these things if somebody don't cover the cost. I don't want to pay any more taxes than anyone else. We tried to pass the sales tax to help some of this. That failed. People need to do their homework in what, we are covering, with our property tax. I've had people say, well, y'all need to cut your spending. Well, give me an example where you want us to cut our spending. What do you want us to take away? Well, you know, that's what I hear. I said, yeah, I do know. But I think this board is very conservative with our money. We look very closely at what we do spend on. I don't really see anywhere we can cut. We have salaries, we have equipment, we have to pay our gas, like you said, electric, everything. All those costs that you pay, we pay. So my biggest concern is maybe looking at, protecting our elderly because they're on limited, income and everything. That's where I think we need to look at is maybe helping them on property tax. But there's a lot going on about property tax, and I hope the legislature is doing their homework on this and what it's gonna cost and who's gonna pay it. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one more thing. She just rattled my brain a little bit on something. I would implore our citizens of our county to contact your legislator and ask them with the legislation that's put forward, how do they recommend that we pay for the shortfall that's gonna come to the county? Because it's easy, as you said earlier, it's easy to enact legislation, but you didn't finish the job and outline how we're gonna fund the services that we may not be able to fund on the county level if this passes. Thanks, sir.
Comments?
Mr. Chair, I do have a comment. So, like, I think all of us on this board and probably in this room, I support the resolution. But I support the resolution not because we all love the word tax. Because for many people, that's not a good word. I support the resolution. One of my main reasons is because I see this constitutional amendment in Raleigh as the state inserting their nose in local business, where we as the citizens of Wayne County should know and be involved in how we run our county, our home, and how we spend those funds that the citizens of Wayne County have elected us to come here and serve. There is a means in place right now if someone does not like how Tim Harrell votes or what Tim Harrell does on property tax or non-taxes, there is a means to remove Tim Harrell. That's the election process. So we have a way for citizens to voice their opinion if they're concerned, and boards can increase or decrease when those times are there. The other concern I have is what we've all said is these unfunded mandates. When you look at the county as a business simply looks at your revenue and expenses. And if our revenue declines, you have to reduce expenses. And when those expenses have to be reduced, you begin to look at services, right? And what are those services? Well, the services that we provide are not just mandated services, they're services that our citizens depend upon daily, from public safety to education, sanitation, right? Just keeping our county clean, animal control, public health, managing opioid funds that Dave come up here and it's easy to win when he's surrounded with excellence. Well, we are surrounded with excellence, I believe, in our county with our leaders. So I want the citizens to know, and I appreciate you giving us the opportunity, Mr. Chair, just to make a comment. So I want the citizens of District 4 in our county to understand that when I vote for this, it's not because as much as it is the state coming down on local control and then these unfunded mandates and letting us manage our funds and what we can do here in Wayne County. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And that's just as much on the federal level as it is the state level on the federal mandate, if not worse. I mean, how much is it gonna cost us in the, health or DSS? This year's like around $3 million? $3 million more from unfunded mandates from the federal government.
Let's explore that one item. The federal government decided that they wanted to have additional verification for what, sir? For SNAP benefits?
Nutrition.
For what?
Food and nutrition, SNAP services.
For SNAP. And it sounds like a good idea, but they have passed that every 6 months, you've got to be re-interviewed in order to qualify for the program. And it sounds great, but that folds right down onto county government. So county government now is going to have to double its staff in order to provide all of the interview process and handle that mandate that was down on the counties. And that cost was estimated to be in the millions.
How many additional employees are they saying we would need?
At least 7. Food and nutrition.
Just in food and nutrition.
So when you increase that increased the cost. Now, where's the county gonna come up with those dollars? Unfortunately, we've got property tax owners only is gonna have to fund that. So it sounds good, it's good policy, but the funding should have come with that. I'm gonna give you another example. People don't recognize the legislature in North Carolina has passed an exemption on solar facilities to where they only pay 20% of what the tax would be, normal.
Of the value.
So they get an 80% reduction in their tax bill because they've got a solar facility.
They got a strong lobbyist is what they got.
But if you're going to give these loopholes and these exemptions, reducing the revenue coming to county government and passing regulations and mandates, increasing their cost, something's got to give. And just like Commissioner Aycock stated, if they're going to limit our ability to pay for these services, then they're going to have to provide the funding. They are.
Schools.
Oh, that's another big.
I mean, I don't think people realize that we're responsible. I mean, what would we do if we didn't get the needs-based assessment grant? What would our tax rate be?
That's correct,
I mean,
because you'd have to finance
You
it.
had to find the money.
We have funded plenty of school construction outside.
I understand that, but I'm just
grants.
saying, with the additional, I mean, that would be even more.
I get it.
So,
Well, like I say, it's easy to say, let's cut taxes. But what services are you gonna give up?
let's revisit the North Carolina State Lottery, the educational lottery. Anyway.
Where only 20% is actually going to
I don't know if it's
education.
20%.
But anyway, okay, we beat that dead horse. With there being no other discussion on the matter, we have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution. Who made that motion?
So moved.
I'm sorry, the motion now has been made. Thank you, Commissioner Harrell. And if you please vote. And?
Ms. Barbara, did yours pop up?
No, ma'am.
How would you like to vote?
So that resolution passes 5-1. Okay, what's next on the agenda? I do have some housekeeping to do. I need to amend the motion to, on item 14, motion to adopt a resolution by the County of Wayne authorizing the award of opioid settlements for the creation of Wayne County Post-Overdose Response Team. An appropriate budget amendment needs to be added to that, if you would.
The resolution includes the
It did?
authority to fund it.
Okay, I'm sorry, it did include it. Thank you so much.
Well, you just don't need it because the resolution authorizes the
Okay.
spending.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. All right, now, with that in mind, county managers report.
Thank you, sir. Think about the impact that the legislature has put counties and cities into as they're currently in the middle of the budgeting process. How does a county or a city plan for its future when the future is unknown? It makes it a very difficult decision and a very difficult process for administrative staff to go into that process, and you don't know what the future is. You don't know what you're gonna be facing next year. And so it's just very important that that process be fixed. And whatever the outcome is, it needs to be agreeable to the counties and the cities. And, otherwise, you're gonna see some serious limitations on services provided by both municipalities and counties. So it's gonna be tremendous. My other thing is a proud 1985 graduate of Goldsboro High School and a Cougar. Would like to congratulate that basketball team on what they accomplished. It's a lot to get to that level, to make it that level, even just to make it to the playoffs and get in the playoffs against the level of competition that they faced. It's amazing. And I'm proud of them for doing it. And that's all I got, sir.
Okay. Mr. Williams.
Yes, first up, I want to congratulate the Lady Cougars as well, and I hope the board, our next meeting, we can have a resolution in place for the Lady Cougars for their championship. Also, I wanted to reiterate to the parents, because I know parents watch us opposed to teenagers. Our summer youth program the deadline is shortly approaching, and it is April 24th to file if you want to apply for the Summer Youth Employment Program. So parents, if your children would love to work, not make them work, if they would love to work, then have them apply for this program. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Akon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to congratulate Ms. Michelle Estrada, for the Southeast District ECA meeting that our assistant manager and I went to. Those are such talented ladies. I was sitting there listening to them. They were making their clothes and doing all this kind of stuff. I'm so envious of these ladies to be so talented and everything. But it was a great, great program, and getting to meet other people from different counties and doing the ECA. So I want to thank Ms. Estrada for putting that together, and thank you, Ginger, for being there as well. It was very enjoyable, even though we had to leave a few minutes earlier and didn't get the food. But it was a nice event. Thank you, Commissioner Daughtry, for letting me take your place.
Thank you.
I think you would have enjoyed it with all those ladies there.
Thanks for being there. Okay, anything further?
That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Foster.
Yes, have a few things. I was able to attend, I think it was Chris, what school was that Octavia asked me to go to? Wayne Prep?
Yeah, yes, Wayne.
Okay, Wayne Preparatory's talent show. And to see kids get on stage and sing and dance and just do everything was a wonderful thing. And you know, I think she was in the second grade. She was the youngest one to compete. She got up there and sang, and we gave her third place. And to watch her cry with excitement and to feel like that was something special to her was amazing. You know what I'm saying? That it felt like it changed her life for a little bit. You know what I mean? She cried the whole way to the car. You know, it was a beautiful thing. So I thank Octavius for allowing me to step in his place to do that. That was good. On another note, I was in the gym recently, and one of the young airmen that I talk to often said he was getting ready to go overseas. Couldn't really tell me where he was going and what was going on, but I figured that he was going to war. And you know, I only thing I could really tell him was to do what you have to do to come back safe. And a lot of times we don't think about that. We don't think about the people we're sending to war, the people that we're fighting in war, and all the lives and families and stuff that are destroyed behind it. You know, it seems like a simple thing, but it's not. You know, a lot of casualties, a lot of different things. And, you know, it really just struck me different, you know, seeing somebody that I see almost 4 or 5 times a week, you know, that I might not see him again because he's going to war is something to really, really take seriously out here, and something that we really need to be thankful for and thinking about as those soldiers go, and with support. Another thing is we have, you know, a lot of different things that have gone on with this board, from goals and everything else. You know, I've been putting a lot of things on goals for years. Sometimes I just give up on them and I just say whatever because I don't feel like I get the support. A lot of times in certain neighborhoods and stuff, I feel like certain neighborhoods don't get the support. I've been doing politics for almost 11 years now, and that's just been the thing across the board. You know, we can find money for certain things, but other things we can't find money for. We can find resources, whatever it may be. We can make deals fast for certain people and certain things, but, you know, those underprivileged and those that are in need, it seems like it's a little way more of a struggle. And with that being said, you know, I recently got a phone call about Dillard Academy asking for playground equipment over at School Street. Seems like, and I don't know how long ago they asked, but it seemed like it's been a few months. It seemed like it would be a simple thing to come up with an agreement for that. It's just playground equipment. I've heard that they're saying we don't want any reliability, but I mean, how hard is it to make up a contract and say, hey, you're 100% reliable for this equipment? I don't think that's that hard. I'm not an attorney, but you know, I think it's a simple thing to do. That it shouldn't be put off for that long. You know, those are kids that are in this neighborhood. That's a school that's in this neighborhood. It's been doing great things over the years, and I don't see why that should be hard. You know, I feel like we're more liable for it now being on our property and a kid going over there getting hurt than what it'd be moving across the street. As long as they do it and take care of it, that's on them at that point. You know, no different than us buying a school. The school system's no longer reliable for it. We are. You know, so I just don't see any problems with that or why that's taking so long. Other things, you know, like I said, I kind of sort of get disappointed a lot, and I kind of sort of, you know, feel like giving up a lot of times when it comes to politics, and I go back and forth with it all the time. Like, man, I really don't need this. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the struggle when you can't come to agreement on basic things like some playground equipment or, you know, helping out certain individuals. And like I said, with my goals, all my goals have always been simple. Nothing extravagant, nothing costing a lot of money, nothing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, but we can't never seem to find the money for it. And I went back and I looked over the past 5 years with the Maxwell Center and the Jetport, supposed to be enterprises. I think we've lost over $10 million in 5 years between those two. I've been stating from day one that we need to look at those and figure out a way as a board to make sure that we can break that number down. Because there's no reason why we should be losing that kind of money, that kind of taxpayers' money. Because there's a lot of other things that we could do with that money. A lot of good that we can do with that money. But I've been the only one out of 6 commissioners to speak on that. And I've spoken on it several times, and I'm actually tired of even speaking on it because it's a shame. But then we passing a resolution about opposing the modifying the taxes, but we're not talking about trying to figure out a way to save some money on the other hand. So yeah, I have a lot of frustration in me right now. I have a lot of issues. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. You know, I even asked for, you know, Scott's been doing charity work in the community for years, over 10 years. Great program. Has helped out hundreds of kids that never get a chance to go to the beach, just being, they get to go. Basketball games, football games, whatever it may be, he's done it with these kids, you know. And the guy was willing to even pay rent at the building. He needs a gym, you know what I mean? And School Street is there, but from my understanding, we would rather use it for the store stuff than to use it for something that would benefit some kids in that neighborhood and all surrounding neighborhoods. Because it's just not like kids coming from one neighborhood with him. You know, these things are it's just exhausting to be, you know, to represent a district that in the 5 years I've been here, we haven't done anything in. I look back even further, I can't find one thing that we've done in our district, in my district. You know, and we could say, yeah, we provide services, but those services are provided to everyone. But we've done nothing to build the district. And we should be building every single district because every single part of Wayne County matters. And we should be investing in these kids, investing in their growth, investing in programs, everything to make this county better just all around. Not just for those that already have. It seems like those that already have keep getting, while those that don't have keep getting less. And that's a problem for me. So at this point, I mean, you know, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here, but I would love to see a difference made while I'm here. So thank you.
Commissioner Harris.
Let me address School Street while we're here. Have we actually taken ownership yet of School Street? So we do not own it.
No, sir, there's a surveyor that's still working on that for us.
So
That's
we do
gonna
not
take
own
some
the
time.
property there yet.
Not formally.
So
no,
we
sir.
don't have the ability to give anybody anything yet.
No, and I had reached out to the school board attorney about that, about the request, and I think we decided we were gonna wait till that survey was completed and we took ownership.
We also don't know what limitations the school attorney has put on that property yet.
No,
Right.
my understanding is that it would there would be a clause in there that it could not be used for a non-public school, a charter.
But if I could say something, if we could invest money into a property that we don't yet own,
I was just about to say that.
that's not a good excuse.
You know, I mean, we quickly
we're
find
spending
something
money
to come
to
back with.
repair roofs and other things in there already. And so to me, I agree in regard to the playground, you know, it's right across the street. They should be able to access it.
And without ownership, haven't we already put some organizations in that building?
We have,
Oh, okay.
but that was with the permission of the
Okay,
school
so,
system.
okay, but we couldn't get permission for their school ground, for that playground equipment?
Not for the playground, no, sir.
Okay.
Not at this time.
So maybe
from
we
the
need to
school
have
system.
this discussion in closed session or not in open session, because I might say some things that I might regret.
I mean, you say whatever you want to say. I
Like,
mean,
number one,
I don't care either way.
as a commissioner for your district, you have a school that is failing students, and they want a playground. I'd be willing as a commissioner to visit that school, me, myself, and say, what can I do as a county to help these children in our community not to be in this failing school?
Okay, so you're saying because they're failing in school that they don't deserve a playground?
I didn't say that.
Is that what you're saying?
You're
Are you
sitting here-
are you saying that? Are you saying that?
No.
Okay,
I'm
but
saying
that's
you're
what you
coming
just
here-
said, correct?
You're
Is
coming here-
that not what
No,
you
that's
just
not what
said?
I'm saying.
You just said it.
No.
It
I'm
is.
talking about you.
It is.
I'm
You just
saying-
got offended because I said something. You just said they're failing kids, so they don't deserve a playground.
I didn't
Man,
say they don't
get
deserve a
out of
playground.
here, man. Come on.
I'm
man.
saying
This
you're
is
in here
ridiculous.
arguing that
Come
when
on,
the
man.
school is
Come on,
failing.
but you
and we could do
didn't
something
care about the
other
school
than
failing before
playground.
that. You ain't been over there before that just because I
I've been
said something about the
arguing the whole
playground
time
equipment.
with people
Okay,
about
Come on, man.
Gentlemen.
Come on.
Gentlemen.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right,
Commissioner
Just
Gurley,
hate criticism, hate some real shit.
Commissioner Gurley, any
And I want-
comments?
Y'all good. Have a great day.
Is he finished with his comments?
Let it cool a
I apologize
No.
for my outburst. And I will apologize to him for my outburst. But you understand my position with education, and we have a school in our community that I am happy to help. And if they need a playground, we can do a playground. There's issues with equipment. Number one, we don't technically own it yet. Number two, if you remove it and pull it out of the ground, and it can be their responsibility, then they can take responsibility for installing it, and making sure it meets ADA and all of that stuff. Federal guidelines, all of that stuff. But if you really want to have a conversation about Dillard Academy, what can we do to help the children in our community not attend the lowest performing school?
Well, they were not always the lowest performing schools. Sometimes things happen like that, and sometimes it has nothing to do with the staff there. The staff is an excellent staff. You know why I know? Because I've been there to that school for graduations,
Right.
for other events. So they may be lower right now. I mean, I haven't seen the statistics.
Well,
You know, but they may be lower now, but they have a great staff, and and they have some great kids that have come out of that school and have gotten educated, and are doing well, you know, so, let's not knock them, let's see what we can do to help them.
the other thing that the citizens need to understand is we are already funding that school. We are funding that school, we are funding Wayne Prep, we are funding the other school out there close to Lowe's. There are taxpayer dollars that are going to that school that is required by the state. Again, another unfunded mandate that we already had this discussion. So I think it's fair for us as county commissioners to have concerns. I agree, concerns about our schools. What do they all have? Why, if we're giving dollars to these schools, what recourse do we have to make sure they're being held accountable?
Okay, let's move on to, other comments.
The only other comment I have, and again, I apologize, and I apologize to the public, and citizens of District 4, but that bothered me, and I'll have a
And
conversation.
District 2 as well, because those are that's
And
part of my
District 2.
district.
Well,
Thank you.
the state and the resolution, just a comment there. This is a governing body who is looking to limit the budget of county and local municipalities, yet they cannot pass their own budget. So let that sink in. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Gurley.
I think you read my notes. Hey, I was gonna ask that question as a smart comment. Has the state passed their budget yet? No. But yet, they're trying to dictate to us how we can, which would actually end up causing us not to be able to fund some of our services or possibly go down in a, revenue or tax, so. As Commissioner Harrell said, I guess we need to let that sink in, and I would implore, again, call your legislators from the state and ask them kind of how they, envision us to keep pressing forward. Lady Cougars, that was a great season for them. I actually went with Commissioner Foster, went to a game one night. They were very talented. They could beat most boy or men, young men, basketball teams. I'm wearing yellow today in support of our military, families and friends and neighbors that we have, not just here in our county, but has come through our county that we know, have had, relationships with, over the years. Through all of our being, in school here in the county, we have had friends that have been in the military that have actually rose through the ranks, in all branches, but, especially the Air Force, got lifelong friends. I actually had one, that flew with the Blue Angels that I went to school with. And, so, I'm in that, and, you see some, flyers around, yard signs around that says your community is behind you. I would ask that our community get behind that and show that we are known throughout the United States as the strongest community, military community there is in the United States, bar none. You go to DC, you say you're from Wayne County or Goldsboro, they know exactly where you're at. They said that they'll tell you that the military knows when they come to Goldsboro and Wayne County that they're supported, when their families are supported, when their loved ones are deployed in harm's way. So we want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Also got a text, one of our county's former chairman of the board, Jack Best, has been ill the past several months. He passed away last night, so I asked you to keep Miss Ellen and Munn and Mary Hope in your thoughts and prayers along with their spouses and Jack's grandchildren. Jack was a mentor of mine. A quick little story. I got several. Some I can't talk in public, but Jack, we've had several discussions, and we go to the GTP or EDR or Highway 70. He'd have a seat. He'd get there before I did, and he'd have my sign sitting right beside him. He pulled a seat out. He sit right here, and I said, we had a discussion one day, and Jack, when he get frustrated, he run his fingers through his hair like that, and he looked right at me. He said, you were hard-headed. I said, well, I take that as a compliment coming from you, Jack. And he just laughed, he smiled, that little grin he had, and but he always says, what can I do for you? That would always his last statement he would say. And I know there's people that he and his family have helped that people don't know about. So I just ask we keep the family in our thoughts and prayers for the coming days and coming weeks and months. It's going to be a transition for those that knew him. It's going to be a transition for a lot of us that's been sit on boards with him for years, and I'm going to miss him. Mr. Chair. I do have one more thing. Do we have and I was going to ask you this, and I forgot. Do we have an update on the Kerry Winters deal? I've probably had 10 people ask me in the last week.
Can you say the letters have been ordered?
Yeah, I think it's getting close.
Is it?
It's really
Okay.
close.
All right. So I forgot. I was going to ask you that.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you, sir.
I hate to hear that about Jack. Jack was a titan here in Wayne County. He certainly will be missed. His advocacy on the Highway 70 Corridor Commission, for economic development, for so many areas of Wayne County that he affected. I hate to hear that. I want to remind everyone, the Mount Olive Pickle Festival is this weekend. That's always a great event. And while we're talking about Mount Olive, let me congratulate Mount Olive in selecting a new town manager. I think they've got a great choice there of Octavius Murphy. He took on that position as of yesterday. I look forward to working with him.
My big brother.
Do what?
He's my big brother.
My big brother. The other thing I want to remind everyone in Wayne County about, and that is FRC East. 400 jobs, and we're not talking about $30,000 a year jobs. We're talking about jobs that are high-tech, that are going to be there at the transport. Now, when we talk about Lenoir County and Wayne County, we eliminated that line. It's 20 minutes drive from Goldsboro over to the transport. And for a $75,000 and $85,000 a year job, you might want to highly consider applying. I understand they opened up for applications for those 400 jobs, and over 1,000 appeared to make application. But those jobs are there, and we encourage our citizens to consider going over there and making an application. You know, when you start talking about taxes and schools, as you can all tell, we get rather emotional about some of these things. We take them to heart because we want the best for Wayne County. We want the best for all of our citizens. And so sometimes our emotions kind of run raw, but we'll try to keep them in check as best we can. That said,
I got two things.
you got two things.
Yeah, I just, the last EDR meeting we were at, when we were, in the process of, setting at that 501,
3C.
C6, or what it was.
Yeah, whatever.
They got so many, letter numbers. Anyway, the fundraising part of it. Jack made a comment. He said, it's hard to ask somebody else to support something that you're not supporting yourself. So it's hard to ask somebody to give you money when you're not putting money in it yourself. And I mean,
That did hit home.
and I woke up in the middle of the night, last night, actually thinking about that. So that was that's just something that just, it resonates with people that, you got people that always want you to give, but they're not willing to give themselves. It could be time. In this situation, it's actually money, through the economic development and that for our region. And the other thing that I did want to mention, I want to say a special thank you to the Greene County Sheriff Matt Sasser, Lenoir County Sheriff Jackie Rogers, and the Johnston County Sheriff Steve Bizzle for their assistance last week with situations that we had here in Wayne County and Goldsboro. We say this in emergency services, but there is no county lines when it comes to our surrounding counties. We're there to support them, and they're here to support us. And I just wanted to publicly tell them. I told Sheriff Pierce the same that I had called them, but I called them personally and told them thank you for coming. And each one of them said, anytime we know y'all, we want all of this together. We need y'all coming to help us. So that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
All right, I need a motion to go back into closed session.
So moved.
All right, we got a motion to go back into closed session.
And Mr. Chairman, that'd be to discuss matters relating to location of industry within the county, to discuss the acquisition of real property, and to consult with your attorney to retain the client privilege.
Okay. If you will, please vote.
I'm gonna close mine up.
Okay, we're going to go into closed session. We're back from closed session, and with that said, we adjourned our meeting. Thank you.